Hello everyone. I hope you have enjoying videos. A quick revision helps you a lot to learn the topic better than within a short period of time, that too in the form of a video. So today we shall have a quick revision on nutrition in plants. Now let us learn in detail about the core points that are given in the slide. See the objectives: autotrophic nutrition, heterotrophic nutrition, parasitic nutrition, symbiotic nutrition and saprotrophic nutrition. Children, every organisms require food, right? Whether it is micro or macro like plants and animals. So, why do they require food? To gain energy. Yes. So, where do we get energy from? So, the nutrients like carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, fats are present in the food. So, intake of food by organism is called nutrition. But all organisms do not get in the same manner. Based on their availability of the food and their habit, so they eat differently. Here I am representing herbivores. They eat only grass, whereas omnivores, they eat both grass and flesh, whereas carnivores, they eat only flesh. So, now we will discuss about autotrophic nutrition. Auto means self and trophic means nutrition. So, the organisms which they prepare their food by themselves, like plants, are called autotrophic nutritions. Do you know, children? Plants are producers. They produce the food and all organisms either directly or indirectly depend upon the plants. So now let us discuss detail about the autotrophic nutrition. So how do the plants prepare their food? By the process called photosynthesis. So let us know what is photosynthesis. Photo means light and synthesis means to produce. Only under the presence of sunlight, the plant can prepare the food materials. I will explain with an example how photosynthesis takes place. So, my dear children, you have all the grocery at home. But if you do not have food for 2 days, can you cook food by yourself? No, you can't. Why? You do not have energy. In the same way, plants also requires energy to make the food. But where do the plant get energy from? The sunlight. Where is the food made in plants? Leaves. Leaves are known as the food factories of the plants. So, chlorophyll is the green color pigment that is present in the leaves. That's why leaves appear green in color. So, chlorophyll should be activated by the sunlight. Once the chlorophyll is activated by the sunlight, means the sunlight falls on it, the plant can prepare the food material by the process of photosynthesis by using raw materials like carbon dioxide and water. See, here I am representing the structure of stomata. A tiny pores or holes that are present underneath the plants are called stomata. You can see the neighboring cells are called guard cells. They act while closing and opening. So, shall I ask you a question? What are the raw materials required for the photosynthesis? Those are sunlight, water, carbon dioxide and chlorophyll. See this picture. Here the plant utilizing sunlight, carbon dioxide and water. So under the presence of sunlight only the chlorophyll gets activated and they finally form carbohydrates. So carbohydrates are nothing but glucose and it also releases oxygen. Children, do you know how does a plant get water? With the help of the roots. So, roots absorbs the water and the minerals from the soil, then transport them to leaves via stems and branches. And what about inhalation of carbon dioxide? That means taking of carbon dioxide. As I said just now, there are tiny pores called stomata. It absorbs the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. So, chlorophyll captures the sunlight and other raw materials. They finally, sunlight, carbon dioxide, water, chlorophyll, produce the end products of the photosynthesis, glucose, that means sugar, and oxygen. This process is called photosynthesis process. Now let us discuss about other type of nutrition, that is called heterotrophic nutrition. So do you know, children, what is meant by heterotrophic nutrition? So organisms that depend upon the food materials on other organisms are called heterotrophs. Means they cannot prepare the food by themselves. So under the category of heterotrophic nutrition, there are three types of nutrition. One is parasitic nutrition, second one is symbiotic nutrition, and the third one is saprotrophic nutrition. So let us discuss about the parasitic nutrition. So children, this parasitic nutrition is mode of heterotrophic nutrition where they get especially food materials and shelter from other plants. Okay, so these especially feed on the living organisms are called parasites. The living organism from which the parasites derives its food known as the host. So now Cuscuta is the best example as a parasite. It occupies a healthy plant and it sends its root-like structures into the stem or the roots of the host plant to absorb water, mineral salts and food from it. So a parasite such as Dodder, that means Cuscuta, can entirely depend on the other host plant for its food. It is called total parasite. So next we move to symbiotic nutrition. So here mutual beneficial will be there for both organisms. Here two organisms will be participated. Whereas in parasitic nutrition only one side. These are from two sides. So here I am representing a lichen. This is called lichen. It's the combination of algae and fungi. Lichen is the combination of algae and fungi. So here both organisms will be benefited. So such kind of relationship is called symbiotic relationship. And here what is meant by lichen and algae and fungi? What actually they do? The algae prepares the food material, whereas the fungi absorbs the water and mineral salts to supply the algae. Now about saprophytic nutrition. Here one more example here, that is about root nodules and rhizobium. So what are these root nodules, Nana? Root nodules from the leguminaceae plants. What are the leguminaceae plants? Plants like groundnut, peas, Bengal gram, green gram, moong, soya bean, peas. These are the examples for the leguminaceae family, and their roots will be having, here you can see this ground globule like structures called root nodules. What would happen here? So rhizobium. Rhizobium is a bacteria. So it fixes the atmospheric nitrogen and it supplies to the plant, whereas instead of that the plant gives food and shelter to the rhizobium. Now we move to insectivorous plants. This is also belongs to semi-parasitic plants. Of course they also go for the photosynthesis process partially. They mainly grow in the nitrogen deficient soils. That's why in order to fulfill this nitrogen, what they do, they capture insects or any tiny organisms, and by using their enzymes, they will digest them and absorb their nutrients entirely. So these examples, especially Venus flytrap and Nepenthes. Now, saprotrophic nutrition. So, saprotrophic nutrition is a process of extracellular digestion. Means externally they release lot of digestive enzymes, in which these enzymes they convert the complex matters into simpler matters. From them they will absorb. Okay, so generally in plants we are discussing, no, that's why I am representing here about the coral root and the Indian pipe. Of course, mushroom is also good example for the saprotrophic nutrition. Even bread mold also example for the saprotrophic nutrition. So these are about all kind of nutritions. I think you got a clear picture of it. Thank you. Have a great time.